Why play Quinn Top? Well, she is a massive lane bully. She is a brilliant duelist, she's great at split pushing, and her map pressure with her ultimate is incredible. However, she is squishy if the opposing laner can get onto her, and some other top laners will offer more in team fights where she prefers skirmishing and split pushing. Quinn's passive is her Q, E, and the arrows from her ultimate mark her enemies as vulnerable for 4 seconds, and marked enemies are revealed. And if no targets are marked as vulnerable, she automatically makes a nearby enemy vulnerable. Quinn's basic attacks against vulnerable targets deal additional damage and also get more bonuses with her W passive. Quinn's Q is a straight line skill shot which deals damage in a small area when it hits. It makes the first target hit vulnerable, and if they're an enemy champion, it causes them to be nearsighted. The passive from Quinn's W is the bread and butter of her kit. This is whenever she uses a basic attack against a vulnerable target, she gets a large amount of bonus attack speed and movement speed. The active on this ability grants sight of the surrounding area for 2 seconds and reveals nearby enemies within. Quinn's E is a point and click ability which can be used on an enemy. It deals damage, marks them as vulnerable, and knocks them back a very short distance and slows them. After this, she then vaults away back to her maximum attack range. Quinn's ultimate causes her to channel for 2 seconds while her bird picks her up. This gives her a massive amount of additional movement speed and grants her ghosting. If she is damaged while channeling, she doesn't gain the bonus movement speed for 3 seconds, and if she is locked down, she immediately comes out of the form. While in this form, she can then activate it again to deal damage in a massive circle around her, marking nearby enemies as vulnerable. In addition, if she attacks, uses Q, or uses her E during this time, she automatically activates this damage in a circle. For combos, start in your ultimate, and then when in range, cancel it to damage and mark the target before attacking. Follow up with a Q into 2 attacks, and then your E into 2 attacks before continuing to spam away. However, if you want to kill the target faster, only use 1 attack between abilities, or if it's going to be a longer trade, you can get even more attacks between each ability use to get the maximum effectiveness out of her W passive. For matchups, Quinn does great into less mobile top laners who she can constantly bully and then vault away if they get close, and she can struggle against top laners with multiple gap closers who will be able to get onto her. For runes take this, Fleet is brilliant. For build order, start longsword refillable into tier 2 boots and a shiv. After this, a Gale Force and Lord Doms are great pickups before finishing your build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start E then Q then W before maxing W then Q then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Ignite. As the top lane carry, your focuses are going to be on farming hard and bullying your opponent to prevent them from farming and constantly threatening kill pressure. The way you want to bully is by constantly poking and looking for good trades. When poking, firstly, when your passive mark is coming back up, you want to walk within your auto attack range of your opponent. This will cause them to be marked rather than a minion and allow you the extra damage and grant you W's incredible passive. Other than this, if they're melee, simply shoot them every time they go to farm. When looking for trades, if you can activate your mark on them, this will give you a massive amount of attack speed and movement speed. This will give you a massive amount of control over the encounter. Use your Q for damage when you can, and then either use your E for more damage or to simply retreat away. And when you hit level 6, you now have a great amount of kill pressure and can also roam to other lanes to start influencing them. Entering the mid game, you want to take your tower as soon as possible. From here, split pushing is a great default, being able to get massive amounts of pressure for your team. And with your ultimate, you can still easily roam to teamfights and skirmishes. Entering late game teamfights, you almost play the assassin role. After a teamfight has started, flank onto it in your ultimate form. From here, full combo anything important before putting out sustained damage, relying on movement speed and your E to keep yourself safe.